Welcome to Primate 9. I'm Lishni Jesse. Every year, authorities in Nagaland, especially the Dimapur administration, issue orders banning firecrackers during festive seasons such as Christmas and New Year. Earlier in the month of November 2021, the Dimapur police issued an order banning firecrackers as usual. There was comparatively low use of firecrackers during Christmas. However, New Year's Eve was a regrettable affair as firecrackers assaulted the environment and citizens for hours as people welcomed 2022. The authorities' orders against firecrackers seem to have lost their relevance. Today we have our senior news analyst El Nguli to examine why banning firecrackers do not seem to work. Yes, El.
Hello, Lishni.
With the recent celebrations, people were seen using firecrackers despite orders. So is the public's disobedience a reflection of how the administrations have handled firecrackers and noise pollution in the past?
Definitely, because the behavior of a community towards something such as a government order, a government regulation, will depend on how the government, the authority handles that particular situation. I think we have been hearing about ban on firecrackers ever since we were in school. Every year, the district administration, way back in Woka, in Kohima, even in Dimapur, they will issue orders: do not use firecrackers during this or that festival or this or that season. But unfortunately, I think it's during those times when the government issues orders against firecrackers that we normally use a lot more firecrackers than we usually do. Now the problem here is it's a vicious cycle, Lishine. The government will issue an order, the public will not listen. Why? Because it does not believe that the authority is capable of handling or implementing that order. So the government, they also, most of the time, I think they shirk their responsibilities and they just, they do kushi, what we call in Nagamese kushi. They will just let it go like that. And it's a cycle that keeps on happening. And I think the ban on firecrackers in Nagaland, it's something of a mockery.
Yes, as we all know that, firecrackers, they continue to be a nuisance, especially to children, the elderly and people with health conditions as well, and also the pets and the environment. So what does the most recent order banning the use of firecrackers say?
Yeah. So the Dimapur police, the Dimapur authorities, they issued an order way back in November 2021 saying that a certain category of firecrackers will be banned in Dimapur. They did not ban firecrackers entirely. That's what I want to refer to here. It was not a blanket ban, but it was for a certain category of firecrackers. So it was issued in November 2021. The order said that citizens will be allowed to use firecrackers from, this is very specific, 11:55 to 12 a.m. during Christmas and New Year's Eve. And secondly, you are not supposed to use firecrackers near silence zones. That's what the administration says, silent zones. And these zones are the hospitals, healthcare centers at the primary and urban levels. And what else? Schools. Even schools were included. You're not supposed to use firecrackers in front of churches and courts also. So within 100 meters of these areas, you are to stay away and you are not to use firecrackers in that area. And thirdly, the authorities say that you can use firecrackers that are environment friendly, or what the marketers tell us is green firecrackers. So you're supposed to use only that. But I think I do not have to really point out this particular aspect of the order. We all know what happened during Christmas and New Year's Eve. I think there was no enforcement, there was no restraint on the part of the public in using firecrackers.
Yes, despite orders, we have seen people still violating the orders by the authorities and using the firecrackers. So what do you feel was the problem with the implementation of the order?
There are two sides to it, Lishini. First thing, whenever there is some kind of an enforcement regulation that is issued by the government, there is supposed to be a mechanism that actually implements it. For example, if you want to go from here to Chumugidima, you have to take a car. Now, if you sit in a car but without driving the vehicle, there is no point. You'll never get to Chumugidima. So the government issued the order banning firecrackers in Dimapur, but so far we didn't see the implementation of it. We know it, we saw it, we have experienced it. Who is going to go into the colonies, go to the churches and courtrooms and hospitals and see if people are using firecrackers over there? Who are the government or government personnel that will go and check each and every cracker to see if they are environment friendly crackers or green crackers? Who are the government employees who will go into the colonies and see if the sound emission, the sound levels are within permitted norms? So these are the various issues. The problem with the whole implementation process is that we have a lot of people who have been issuing administrative regulations, but there are no practical mechanisms to actually implement it at a practical level.
Yeah, Eldon, who do you think are, the people most affected by the firecrackers?
Yeah, Lishani, the answer is very obvious here. We would like to appeal to all our viewers, Hornbill TV viewers, to please refuse to use firecrackers in any form, because this subject is not something new. There are tons and tons of research, medical research, academic research that points to the negative impact of firecrackers on the pollution, on the environment, the pollution it causes, and the effect it has on the aged, the elderly, the sick, even birds and animals. It causes pollution to the water bodies. It affects people, especially who have mental and emotional health problems, people who are depressed. So the effect is something that we cannot just disregard, because these are real issues. Each and every person in the community is affected by firecrackers.
Al, you have also mentioned about the green or the environment, friendly firecrackers. So now we see that people are opting for this kind of firecrackers. So can you please share what is green firecrackers and the benefits of it?
Yeah, environment-friendly firecrackers is one of the strangest misnomers that the modern society has come up with. It's like saying healthy poison, It's like, oh, this is poison, but it's very healthy. You drink it, you won't die, but of course, you'll have paralysis. So there is no green or environment-friendly firecracker here we're talking about. It's a marketing term, it's a marketing gimmick to actually promote a firecracker that has reduced emission levels and has reduced amounts of chemicals used. For example, in conventional firecrackers, you use aluminum, and you use barium, you use magnesium. So these are in reduced levels. So the idea is not that you take the whole negative elements out of the firecracker. You don't take out the polluting elements. You don't take out the harmful chemicals. You only reduce it. So just as C-STEP scientist, research scientist called Pradima Singh said, green or environment-friendly firecrackers do not serve any purpose, no matter how lovely it sounds. They still have chemicals in them. They still emit a lot of noise. They pollute the air. No matter, it might be called the most environment-friendly firecracker in the world, but it still has chemicals that will pollute the air. It will affect your lungs. It will affect babies, pets, and animals. So this is not something we should really look at. The name is not something we should consider before using firecrackers. We should altogether not use firecrackers, Lishani.
Thank you, Al, for sharing on this very informative story.
Thank you, Lishani.